Have you ever felt that people remember you only when they need something? Have you ever delayed your own rest, ignored your own plans, or sacrificed your own peace just to help someone who quickly forgets your effort? If that feels familiar, then listen carefully, because sometimes the hardest lesson in life is learning when to stop giving. In a quiet countryside town, surrounded by wide wheat fields and narrow stone roads, there lived a man named Aaron. He was known by everyone. If someone's cart broke down, they called Aaron. If heavy furniture needed moving, they called Aaron. If someone felt lonely and needed company, they knocked on Aaron's door. He never refused. He always smiled and said, "I'll take care of it." People praised him. They called him kind. They called him reliable. They said he had a generous heart. But slowly, without noticing, Aaron's own life began to fall apart. The paint on his house peeled. His fence leaned sideways. His small vegetable patch dried under the sun. His tools rusted in the shed. Yet every morning, instead of fixing his own problems, he hurried off to solve everyone else's. At night, he returned exhausted. His sister would look at him and say softly, "You help the whole town. But who helps you?" Aaron would shrug and answer, "It doesn't matter. At least I am useful." One summer afternoon, dark clouds gathered suddenly. Strong winds began tearing through the town. Everyone rushed outside to secure their belongings before the storm arrived. Aaron ran too, but not toward his own house. He went to help his neighbor Thomas, whose workshop tools were scattered outside. They tied ropes. They covered equipment. They worked fast. But Aaron's own shutters were open. His small shed was unlocked. His young trees were unprotected. The storm arrived violently. By the time Aaron returned home, branches were broken, tools were soaked, and his small garden was destroyed. He stood silently in the rain, staring at the damage. For the first time, he did not feel proud of his kindness. He felt empty. The next morning, confused and restless, he visited Mrs. Eleanor, an elderly woman who had once been a school principal. She lived alone in a modest cottage near the hills and was known for her quiet wisdom. Aaron sat across from her and said, "I try to be a good person. I help everyone, but I feel drained. Why does kindness make me feel weaker instead of stronger?" Mrs. Eleanor poured tea calmly and pointed toward the hills outside. "Do you see those trees?" she asked. "They provide shade. They give fruit. But if someone keeps cutting their branches every day, what happens?" "They weaken," Aaron replied. "Exactly," she said. "Giving is beautiful. But giving without limits destroys the giver." Aaron listened carefully. "You think saying no is selfish," she continued. "But sometimes saying no is the only way to protect what matters." She gave him simple advice. For 1 week, pause before answering anyone. When someone asks for help, ask yourself, am I helping from strength or from fear? If helping costs you your health, time, or peace, then say, "Not today." Aaron felt uneasy. He had never refused anyone before. The next day, a friend came asking for help repairing a storage room. Aaron looked at the broken door of his own shed that had been damaged in the storm. His habit pushed him to say yes immediately, but he paused. "I'm sorry," he said gently. "Today, I need to fix my own place. I can help later." His friend looked surprised. "You've changed," he muttered before leaving. Aaron felt guilty, but he repaired his shed. That evening, he felt something new. Not pride, not relief, balance. Over the next few days, more requests came. Carry boxes, fix a roof, help in the market. Aaron did not become rude. He did not become cold. He simply chose carefully. Sometimes he helped. Sometimes he said, "Not today." At first, some people complained. A few were disappointed. But something unexpected happened. They began solving their own problems. Meanwhile, Aaron repaired his fence, replanted his garden, cleaned his home, rested when he needed to rest. His face looked brighter. His shoulders stood straighter. Weeks later, another heavy rainstorm arrived. This time, Aaron's house stood firm. He watched the rain fall from inside his dry home. No one knocked on his door. But for the first time, he did not feel neglected. He felt steady. Mrs. Eleanor visited him one afternoon and observed his tidy yard and peaceful expression. "Did the town collapse when you stopped saying yes to everything?" she asked. Aaron smiled. "No," he said, "but I stopped collapsing." She nodded gently. When you respect your limits, others learn to respect them too. And that is the lesson. Saying no does not make you selfish. It makes you responsible for your own life. If you constantly empty yourself for others, you will eventually have nothing left to give. Your time is valuable. Your energy is limited. Your peace is important. Protect them. Because when you finally say no to pressure, you are saying yes to yourself. And that is where true strength begins.